Dance like no one's watching. I really think I've begun living by that. So cliche, but it's a good one. Cliches are cliche for a reason. They resonate with the heart. You may have noticed, or honestly probably not because who's really keeping tabs on this channel, that the only thing that I have posted since I last got vulnerable at the start of the year is one sponsored post and 2 pieces of content that I filmed January of this year. We're now in July. And that's because A, gotta secure the bag, and B, I didn't want that old footage to go to waste, and I actually have other videos coming out that are old, but I'm posting anyways because why not? But a lot has happened since we last checked in, and I did kind of promise a mid-year update, so here we are. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kea, aka ComfyGirlCurls. Also, I'm very honored that you decided to click on a video titled Life Update from a person that you don't know. Let's be friends. Hit subscribe. But where did the time go? For those who don't know, I am now officially a full-time content creator. So we'll start with that update because it is the biggest change in my life. If you want to hear me dive more into like the nitty-gritty of going full-time, definitely go check out my behind the scenes channel, Creating with Kea. But let's just say that the transition from my 9-to-5 to being a full-time creator was not as smooth as I had planned or anticipated. And I think that's just because I underestimated the process. So I started the year pretty strong. I sat down and set out goals. I was being really consistent with content creating, less so on this channel, more so on my other. And the closer that I got to being full-time, the less consistent I got. And I realized that there are 2 reasons for that. First is that I think I really underestimated how supportive my boss was of this double life I was leading. Even something as simple as like me checking my ComfyGirlCurls emails at work. That was no big deal as long as I was getting my day job stuff done. And I realized this the moment we hired my replacement. When you're training somebody and it's the last month in a workplace and you're trying to wrap up all loose ends, there is literally no time to do any personal stuff. And that's where my consistency just died. Because I wasn't able to keep on track of little tasks throughout the day, I had to do that all after work, and I found that I had less time to focus on creating content and editing content, and I had to really prioritize like my paid brand deals that had deadlines. And you can actually see this time period on my Instagram feed where I just had a lot of back-to-back sponsored posts because I had no time to just create content that could be seen as filler content or just my personal stuff that would fit in between. So first of all, really grateful for my community and my audience who doesn't seem to care. And I do try to put like my personality and value into these branded partnerships as well. So it doesn't always pop out as super branded, but anyways. The second reason that I think I dropped off on consistency during this time is that I suddenly began caring what people thought about me. And my posting and my content. So when my replacement started at work, my boss sent out an email to everybody saying that I was leaving, and people get curious. The moment that email went out, I got 30 new Instagram followers that were all people from my workplace. And that got in my head. Before then, there were definitely people from work who followed me. Some people had just found me organically. I had it happen a couple times where an ad would pop up on their feed and they would say like, is this you? But having so many people who only knew me in the workplace suddenly follow my Instagram page where I have selfies, I have hair care stuff that definitely seems a little bit more vain. It paralyzed me. I really started to overthink what I was putting out there, and I was looking on my stories to see like who from work was seeing them and wondering what they would think, and I was sort of filtering my content through that lens, and that's very new for me. I know there's a lot of creators out there that had to go through that stage of, oh no, what will people from high school think? Or like, what will my friends and family think? It's cringe. I never thought that. I don't know if that's just because I'm delusional. Yes, sometimes I'd be a little awkward bringing it up in person. I kept it a little bit on the down low. But in terms of actually posting content, I never like posted a selfie and thought like, oh no, what are people from high school gonna think? And maybe that's just because the only high school friends that I really cared about were like my very limited high school best friends who are still my friends today, so who cares what anybody else thinks? But it was really weird to be 6 years into online content creation and suddenly be overthinking about what people thought of me. So after quitting, I had to kind of pull myself out of that and first of all say, like, dance as if no one's watching. Like, why do you care? You never cared before, just like do your thing. And then after I got all over that, I was almost playing catch up on all of the content I hadn't posted and deadlines and events, and it just, life got really, really crazy. So along with my whole transition of 9 to 5 to full-time life, I not only dropped consistency with productivity and content creation, I also did not exercise, did not consistently wake up early. I did not practice driving once. I did kind of cut down on drinking. But two things that I think have shifted has been saying yes to things and putting up boundaries. On the yes front, I think my first foray into being a more spontaneous person who just experiences all the things, I booked a ticket to New York City on a dime. I talk more about this in my Creating with Kea mid-year update video, but I recently joined Stan as an ambassador, and we had a kickoff call March 30th or something, and on the call they dropped that they were having their first ever in-person event in New York City, and they were like, it's tomorrow, if you're in town, drop by. I got off the call, called Darren, and said, how crazy would it be if I booked a ticket to New York City, like tonight? He's like, you know what, if it's for your business, do it. It's a business expense, it's a business venture. You're going to like network with people and create content. And I kept going back and forth being like, is this the craziest thing I've ever done in my life? Like, no, of course I can't just go to New York. I texted my boss and asked him if I could have the next day off. When I heard back from him at 3:30, I booked the ticket and booked a COVID test. Ran home, packed my bags, turned around and went to the airport, and I have zero regrets at all. And I actually got to meet in person and stay with my friend Joelle, who we met on Twitter a few years ago. I also got to hang out with Kiana, another internet friend, and it was just like, who is this Kea? I don't know her. She doesn't do spontaneous things like that. And I not only had one of the best experiences of my life, but I left that trip saying that I want to do more spontaneous things. Like, if I am stepping into being a full-time content creator, the whole point of that was to have more freedom and to say yes to more things. And I think part of this, like, saying yes is saying yes to things that will serve me, that will be new experiences, and that are things that I truly want to do, and I really can't think of an actual barrier. And where the boundary setting kind of comes in is not putting myself in as many situations and spaces where I feel drained, where I feel really down, or I feel like I'm not getting as much as I'm putting into like the relationship. And that's not to say that I'm not gonna like be there for people in need, or that like every situation I'm in has to be super positive and all about me. But I'm realizing that I've said yes to like things that have quite literally drained me for days, and it takes a lot to recover from. And when I'm feeling drained, it prevents me from saying yes to things I actually want to do, because now I'm exhausted, now I'm down, and it's just not, it's not a good situation. Very similarly, another thing that I am practicing with boundaries is protecting my schedule in a sense. I'm not an organized person, and I've been trying really hard to use my calendar more. For my own peace of mind and sanity, I need at least like 5 business days notice for something. 2 weeks is perfect. And part of a boundary that I'm trying to set is that if somebody does reach out to me really spontaneously and I don't have time for it, or it's like a super tight fit, I'm not gonna feel bad that I can't rearrange my schedule to make something work, or that I can never do anything because somebody else is only able to hit me up last minute and doesn't want to make any plans further out. Can I just say I have a really soft spot for people who reach out and say, would love to hang out with you. How does next month sound? Oh, you get me. What else has happened? The most recent thing, I guess, is that I just got back from San Francisco and VidCon, which like, I feel like I'm saying every experience was like the best experience of my life, but San Francisco and VidCon were top tier experiences. I am planning to dedicate like full vlogs, a full vlog for San Fran and a full vlog for VidCon. Just as a teaser, we were staying with Crystal, who is now a very good friend, but was also my co-speaker for VidCon. Like, she just showed us the best time ever, to the point where both Darren and I are like, San Francisco is our favorite American city, hands down. No questions asked. No discussion, no debate. And VidCon was just so much, so fast, so keep your eyes out for that. Also, between San Francisco and VidCon, we actually spent an entire day in LA where we went to a Stand for Creators event. It was really great to see a lot of creators that I had met at the Stand party in New York City, to connect with new friends, and also capture some content. It was just a great time and a great event overall. The next 6 months, what do they hold? I truly feel like my year is just starting. This is now my season. The first 6 months were truly just sowing the seeds, and now I feel like I'm here to reap the benefits of all of the hard work I put in. And now I feel like I can actually enjoy like life as a full-time creator. I can really explore what that looks like for me. I can build out healthy habits. After coming back from VidCon, I really took this last week to just recuperate. I didn't push myself to do anything outside of like one piece of sponsored content. And I'm also excited to just play around more with this channel. I feel like this channel is going to be very experimental for me. My Creating with Kea channel has a lot of structure to it, is a very clear mission statement. Its entire existence is to help both aspiring and current content creators. It's to help pull the curtain back on influencer life. And this one I feel like is just, we'll see. I'm not really hung up on growth and monetization on this channel. I'm really just going to use it to play. It's a lifestyle channel. You know, some days that's going to be me talking through all the products on my shelf. Some days maybe I will sit down and do a rant or just something like this where I'm sharing updates. It's not very strategic, and I know that that means it's not going to grow very quickly, if at all, but I'm okay with that. This is, if anything, going to be my video diary. But if you're along for the ride, I appreciate you so much, and we'll see where this goes together. Until next time.